Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is a 86-87 generation 930 Porsche Turbo. So it looks pretty clean, pretty good, and then you zoom in on it and it's like, ah, my goodness, look at those love marks, that's what they are. Okay, we're gonna make this Porsche not have love marks. You know, hazing and dulling in a lot of the areas. You can see where all the love marks are from being washed constantly with a brush. Let's get started. Okay, so after a test with a medium polish, medium pad, I have discovered that the paint on this car is original. Clearly, because my pad is black. These are single stage painted cars. And as you can see, the finish is actually quite nice. Still obviously needs to be polished, but the finish is amazing on a single stage paint. Those of you who don't know what single stage paint is, it's clear and color mixed. Sometimes it's a lacquer, sometimes it's not. Things have changed a lot in the past 40 years as far as automotive paint goes. So, you know, if you guys don't really have a familiarity with single stage paint, you have to be very, very careful with it because you can quite literally rub the color off. Here's the before. Here's the after. Okay. Again, we'll come from this side. Before. I haven't actually polished this piece right here, so we'll just kind of move over here. After. Looking at here, nice and clear, right? And you come over here and it's all beat up. Nice and clear. Beat up.
Counted all your aces, you ain't winning. Your phone book full of numbers and names. All them vain decisions keep you jaded. You could have found the one, but you won't change. So aren't you glad to meet me? I think you should, I'll be glad to meet me. If I were you, aren't you glad to meet me? I think you should. I make a real good song out of you, time and ticking slow. Yes, you're overdue, aren't you glad to meet me? I think you should. I mean, I really think you should, yeah. Aren't you glad to meet me? I mean, I really think you should. Keep on playing, saying it's in your nature. And you're gone, so I can blame it all but you. Wanna make you set you up for failure. Should be glad I'm here making you.
Okay, it's now day 2 of the Porsche 930 Turbo detail, but we're going to get our fronts off because this is the most visible room for the judges to look. So they're going to see the wheel well, they're going to see the brake caliper, and in the back they're not going to be able to see too much because it's a Euro spec lowered, but we're going to go ahead and take the tire off, take the wheel off rather, and we're going to use a pH balanced non-acidic cleaner. Why? Because this ring right here is raw aluminum. You do not want to use any kind of acid-based cleaner or all-purpose cleaner or a degreaser.
Now, we're fucked.
Okay, so remember I said how not to lay it on its face? Well, these tires in particular stick out a little bit, so if you just gently put them down, you won't hurt the face of the rim. I've already coated the inside of this with some tricks, so we're just going to take it up and lean it against the building. It's already been sitting for a few minutes now, and we're just going to bring the camera this way a little. It's raining outside, so I don't want to get the camera any wet. And we're just going to take the brush, agitate it a tiny bit. Not gonna Okay, so what we're going to do with a hand cleaning is we're not going to douse the wheel in any kind of cleaner because we don't want it to drip down and touch the raw aluminum on the other side. So we're just going to spray it on the rag liberally, and we're just going to wipe any residue that's remaining off of the wheel. Now we're going to bring the face upwards. We're going to get a different rag. Forgot to grab one. Oh, it's right there. We're just going to give the aluminum a quick wipe to dry it off. Now, the next step that we are going to take is a good coating of wax on the painted and the aluminum. And you're just going to take your applicator and do small sections at a time. Just rub it on. In all the areas. So we're just going to go ahead and get this tire put back on the 930. Okay, so here we have the wheel well, and before we go ahead and put our tire back on, we're going to take a look at how to clean the wheel well. I know I don't have a lot of light over here, so we're going to go ahead and get the halogens turned on so you guys have an idea of what's going on. So as you can see, the wheel well is fairly dirty, okay? The way you would go about cleaning this without using a pressure washer, of course I can't bring the car outside because I've got the fresh coating on it. I just got done doing a 1.5 stage correction on it. So I've got some trusty degreaser here in a really good spray bottle, the Spray Master. If you guys are having trouble with sprayers not spraying, Spray Master is really good. Alright, well that's probably as good of an angle as you're going to get. Back it up a tiny bit. And you're just going to take like a brush like this and you're just going to go over it. So if you guys are going to use ZEP 505 on heavy contamination like this, I recommend using an acid-based respirator. Okay, do not breathe this stuff in. It has high concentrations of like ammonia and a bunch of other stuff. You might want to wear gloves too, but you know, whatever. Okay, so we're back. The wheel well is as clean as it's going to get right now. And we are going to go ahead and reinstall our front driver wheel. Okay, now it's very important that you know the factory torque ratings on whatever wheel you're working on, whatever wheel that is that you're working on. So we're going to reinstall, rotate so the Porsche symbol's facing vertical, and just apply your lug caps. These are weird. They're like aluminum. They almost look and sound like they're plastic, but they're not. They are actually aluminum lug nuts. set. We've got our wheel back on. Now all we got to do is polish the aluminum out and touch up the wheel a little from fingerprints, and we're done. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are finished with the Porsche 930 Turbo. This is a 1987. It is an amazing car. Not in the perfect condition, but it's original. This thing is not one of a kind. There are some of them around, but its retail value in 1987 was $64,000. Today it's roughly worth around 100 to 200 grand. I performed a two-step paint correction on every painted surface of the vehicle. It is a one-stage paint, which means it is clear and color mixed. It's not a lacquer, it's clear and color mixed, okay? That means it's original paint. That means that because of the condition of the paint, believe it or not, this paint actually looks really darn good for the age. I did minimal work because I do not want to take off too much of the paint. There is some rumors floating around that it could lower the value of the vehicle if the paint is not the proper thickness. But that being said, the vehicle came out fantastic, ready for the show on Sunday, and it will be certainly one of the nicest looking ones there, and I really hope the owner is happy with the detail job. Very nice car.
If you got a bank. If you got a bank.